Hey, I'm not Average Joe. That's right. Guess what? Special thing happened this morning at, I think, 6:23, no, 6:14 a.m. I'm going to show you this. That's right. I'm not Average Joe. You passed 100 subscribers. Woohoo! That's right. Now, the average Joe would be pumped about that because they're becoming famous or something. But I'm not Average Joe sees the bigger picture. What that tells me is that I have at least 100 people out there that care about me, that love me, that are interested in what's going on, and or are challenged by the fact of that they want to face the trials and tribulations, if you will, of their lives. So I hope somehow that these videos, even though they're not edited and anything crazy, I'm just sitting in a hospital room talking and doing some stupid stuff. But hopefully they're somehow a testimony to you. Hopefully you can continue to pray for me as I'm going on through this journey. I'm wearing this hat to remind me. So if you saw the video from the other day where the nurses surprised me, well, number one, it wasn't my actual birth date, which is in June. They were talking about my rebirth day because basically I'm getting new life because of this transplant. So just some clarification there. But that was really just a tough time because they surprised me. I didn't know what to do. I just lost it. And but hopefully you appreciated me being a softie there. But later that night, I mean, I was so cold. I had this hat on. I was bundled. And if you watched that video, you saw I already had blankets on, but I ended up getting a fever, like bad fever, chills, all night long with a headache. Didn't really sleep much that whole night. That was the worst night I had experienced. And then the next 2 nights after that weren't as bad as that, but were still pretty bad. I've had a headache, nausea. It's controlled right now with some different medication and stuff, but they're still trying to figure it out. So those would be a couple places that you could pray for me. And as I was, going through that last night was really, I was struggling. I was up in the middle of the night again and had actually thrown up a couple times, and I just did the only thing I know how to do is I actually just started singing songs, worship songs to the Lord that I knew. And if you didn't know, this is actually the fourth, that's right, number 4 cancer that I've had. So I've learned a little bit along the way. I'm not going so far to say that, God authored the cancer, but indeed somehow he allowed it in my life. If he is who he says he is, right? But in doing that, I woke up this morning and I remembered that my wife had written out this particular quote. I'm going to show it to you right now. When the fires of affliction draw songs of praise from us, we are indeed purified, and our God is glorified. So that's what I mean, obviously you can't claim your own purification, but I believe that God is purifying me as I go through this affliction. And my encouragement to you is to face your afflictions. You might not be as lucky as I am to get leukemia, but you're going to have your afflictions, you're going to have your hardships, and I just pray that you can sing songs of praise. And as you sing those songs, He purifies you. And I'm not saying that you're going to look good in the process. You're going to feel good in the process, because you don't. And one of my buddies, Butch, who watches these, was saying, yeah, you should just shoot a video every day, even if you're puking in a garbage can. I will spare you the puking in a garbage can. But there's supposed to be some tough days ahead, and I'm just going to be real and video during one of the tough days at least. So more prayer requests for you are that I'm going to be what's called neutropenic, and probably tomorrow, where there's a certain portion of your white blood cells which drop really low, almost to nothing. And then a lot of things can happen. One, you can get all these mouth sores inside your mouth and might not be able to eat much. Two, for sure, my red blood cell count's going to be super low, so I'm not going to have a lot of energy. So those are two things. And then obviously for the nausea and stuff, you can be praying too. So if you're a little confused, basically my old immune system is still partially alive. It's still getting lower and lower as a result of the chemo that I already went through. They're still suppressing the new immune system for a little bit, and then they'll equally let that rise. And that's going to be the process over the next 8, 9, 10 days or so. So keep it up. I'm not average Joe, and you're not average Joe when you face your hardships and afflictions and sing praises to the Lord. Amen. Peace out.